to my channel. My name is Ndung'u. If it is your very first time, karibu sana to this platform. If you are a returning subscriber, lots of love to you and to your loved ones. We love visitors, so for every visitor, we are all about motivation, personal growth, and relationships. And every day at 12 a.m., we usually do prayers, so you can actually tune in and let's pray together. That being said, welcome to 21 Mondays of Motivation. This being our second episode of the same. We are grateful to have you, and karibu sana. So today I just want us to talk about things that have hindered us from actually starting the list that we wrote down. I gave us homework last week and I told us to write down the things that we want to achieve in the 21 Mondays of Motivation. But we cannot start being motivated if we don't know what is demotivating us, because unless we know what we are battling, we cannot proceed and we cannot actually have a successful journey in the same. So kindly karibu sana, enjoy, share with your friends, share with your relative, share even with your enemies, because we want everyone to be motivated, to grow, to blossom, to become better, to become the best versions of themselves and to achieve success. Because unless they do, then what are we doing? Why are we doing this? So please pause, go subscribe very fast. Hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we upload, because I don't want you to miss any of the episodes about 21 Mondays of Motivation. Are we together? Good. Karibu sana to this channel. Karibu sana to today's episode. So for those that have not watched the first episode, kindly go get yourself acquainted with what we discussed, because we touched on some types of motivation, but we said that the most important ones are the two, intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic is internal motivation, where you are personally motivated by the fun, by the process of doing an activity that comes from the inside of you. So the satisfaction is from the inside. You're not doing anything to please anyone. You're just doing it because you love it. Like, how amazing is it? Because you just love a clean space. You're just cleaning because you know what? I love the process of cleaning. I enjoy cleaning. That is a person who has intrinsic kind of motivation. But those that are very busy cleaning very fast because you have heard that there are visitors that are coming and you don't want them to come and find your house messy. So why are you doing it? Because you want to please people, baby. So you are an extrinsic motivator. You are motivated by external reasons, by external factors, like the fact that you have people coming over. We talked about so many kinds of motivation, but one thing I emphasized is that the two extrinsic and intrinsic give birth to the other kinds of motivation. So kindly go tune in, watch, so that you can also work together with us so that you don't miss anything. For those that watched, I told us to write things that we want to accomplish by the end of the 21 Mondays of Motivation. I have my list, and I thank God because I know that you guys will walk with me in the journey of just making sure that I meet my own personal goals and get motivated to make sure that I accomplish, if not everything, some things, and also begin the journey of actualizing others as we move along. So that being said, we have our list. You have your list, I have my list. But I want us to talk about things that have cost us so far. Why are we really not motivated to do those things that we have written down? What is hindering us from being motivated, from just waking up and saying, you know what, I gotta do this, I really need to do this, because unless I do this, then I'm failing somewhere. I know a lot of us, one thing that I'll start with, because I said we write down a list, is that most of us are not goal-oriented. We do not have goals set aside for ourselves. Personally, before I started being very regular in the channel, I was just doing the uploads as I felt, you know, and some of you have walked with me in the journey, and it was just I will post when I post, you know. I had written down days. Maybe I decide, you know what, I'm posting on Tuesday and Thursday, and then I changed to Wednesday and Saturday, and then I changed to Monday and Friday, and right now that's what I'm doing. And I know that it has been a journey, honestly. And I will say this, until I became consistent and I decided that, you know what, I have to post. And sometimes, you know, challenges come. I sometimes lack, either my Wi-Fi becomes very weak, and sometimes I really, yani, things are not working. When sometimes I do a video that is too big, then my phone cannot do the upload, and my laptop in the meantime is just messed up, so it can't work. Sometimes I have to edit with my phone, and my phone, of course, because the storage space and everything, so sometimes the videos are not as clear. It's just messy, and those things gives me an excuse to be like, you know what, things are broken, things are not working my way, so I can just do what, relax. But then again, I ask myself this question: if I am walking a journey with people, like I began the 21 Mondays of motivation with you, then I have to be disciplined to a point that I make sure I accomplish things that I have written for myself. Sometimes I'm late, sometimes because of unavoidable circumstances it is impossible to do. Like for prayers, for example, for those that have been following the uploads for prayer, we usually post at 12 in the morning, so 12 a.m. and for the last 2 days, as I'm shooting this video, I haven't posted, and because 2 or 3 days thereabout, because I had a wedding that we were doing and I didn't have time, and I was up and down, and of course I decided, you know what, I wanted to do live, because I was like, you know, I need to be in that space, because I have already said I will be posting at 12. But then again, my network is very weak, so the Wi-Fi does what the Wi-Fi does. There is one particular day I came home, I was like, I need to record, edit and post before 12. I found myself asleep. I was waking up the next day, I think, and I was recording myself snoring. Snoring, sorry, not snowing, snoring. So we all fail in the area of just having goals, and then some of us just write goals for the sake of writing. We don't have an execution plan, we just write it. Like the way I was telling you, I just wrote days that I want to post initially, and I didn't have plans, because if I'm posting on, maybe like right now I'm posting on Mondays and Fridays, then I have to find time either in between. I have to find a day for shooting, I have to make sure that I have a day for editing, I have to make sure that I have a day of posting. Now that entire process for me has not yet been so clear, it has not been figured out, because I'm working with my husband, and sometimes I have to work with his days, the days he's free, the day he's available, and it's challenging at times. But the honest truth is that we are learning, we are growing, because we also want to do great videos with good quality. And yeah, it has been a growth process, one after the other. So this is an encouragement to some of us that have goals, and maybe we haven't yet started actualizing them, we haven't started working on them. I know that sometimes it can be challenging, but start somewhere, write them down, but look for a strategy that will work, so that you can make sure that you start developing yourself, equipping yourself, and even working towards that goal, so that we have what we calling short-term goals, and make sure at the end of the day we get to the end-term goals. So that is the first thing. Have goals, but also have a very direct, clear process of how you can actualize them. A walkthrough, for example. Like when an architect wants to build, they first do a design. They design the house so that even when the fundis are coming to chimba and just lay the foundation, they're laying the foundation knowing, I need this house to be this deep because I want it to go this high. I need it to be this wide because we have this kind of measurements to make sure that the rooms fit and all that. So of course we also need such kinds of plans. Make sure that your goals are clear, they are precise. You know, you do not have a goal that is not clear, that is not direct, that is not approachable, because if you do that, then again you lose the motivation to do it. Then also, do not write end term goals when you are beginning your motivation journey. Have kidogo goals. At the end of the day, for me, I know that I want to get to 500 million subscribers by the grace of God, but I can't start thinking about it right now when I have 480 subscribers. It will just kill me, it will demotivate me. But every time I see a target that I have put for myself in like a month, I say maybe I want to get 100 subscribers or 50 subscribers, and that happens, then I am motivated to know that, you know what, there is progress, there is growth. When we get to the 100, then I clap for myself, I go ahead and I set the next goal, and we work towards that one, and we work towards the next one, and by God's grace we are growing, and I thank God. So please write your goals, make sure they are clear, make sure they are precise, make sure that you are also motivated to do them. Have a short-term goals and long-term goals, so that at least you can be motivated by the short-term goals, even as you venture towards your long-term goal. The other thing that discourages a lot of people is fear. You fear people, you fear places, you just fear everything that can be feared. You know, you are in a place where people are judgmental. You yourself fear yourself. You fear your own what can I call it? You are your worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy. You can't believe in yourself. You do not know that, you know what, you have what it takes inside of you to accomplish what it is that you have written down. As long as you have dreamt it, you can have it. And all you need to do is just start the journey of actualizing that thing that you really want to achieve. Personally, it has been a journey. It has been a walk. Yani, I don't know even what to say. Sometimes I sit down, I reflect, I think about it, and I'm like, what? Like, the things that I need to deal with myself so that I can come in this space and be here and encourage and walk with you. It's not easy, and you have to overcome your fear. And the things that sometimes I ask myself, even when I am thinking about what to do, is what's the worst thing that can ever happen? Yani ni nini ile mbaya sana itafanyika if I don't do, or if I do that particular thing? Because you see, sometimes we sabotage our own growth, we sabotage our own success, because we are scared of maybe how people will react, how we feel about people. The one thing I am constantly sure about for me was not the fact that I was not self-assured, it's the fact that I feared to look successful before people. I didn't want people to look at my life and say, you know what, she's progressing, she's doing well. It's like I feel like if people look at me from that point, then I don't know how I feel like all the attention is on me or something. It doesn't really make sense when I'm talking about it, but it is an internal feeling and I can't really shake it off. And so I had to really work on myself, work on my esteem, work on my character, work on my abilities, so that I make sure that even when I come before thee, I am confident enough to tell you, you know what, we can do this. Because the honest truth is, we can do this. How many of you know that, you know what, we are going to achieve everything that we have written down? Even if it will take years, we are going to do it. Do you know why? Because we are motivated within ourselves to accomplish those goals for ourselves, because we want to leave an empire, a legacy for our children. We want to change lives. I am sure everything that you've written down, like the way I have my notebook here written, everything that I want to achieve, you know, make sure that you really write them down. And tafadhali, don't joke about it, because I'm sure that our lives will be amazing. And everything that we have written down, we are going to achieve. The other thing I noticed that really hinders us from really getting motivated is the fact that maybe you do not have all that you need to work towards that particular goal. I will be using my own examples, because I know our situations are unique and we are all different and we are aspiring to achieve different things. So personally, as a vlogger, you find out that, you know, you do not have all the equipments. Maybe when you have one, you lack the other. When you get the lights, you lack lack the camera. When you have the camera, you lack stand. You know, there is always something. When you have the camera again and you want to host people, you do not have enough, you do not have a location. When you do not have a location and now you have guests, then again, when the guests and the locations are found and the camera is there and the lights are there, then you do not have lapels. So again, the sound is bad. There is always something in that journey of growth that will always discourage you, that will tell you, you know what, honey, you are still too far, you are still not there yet. But this is the interesting part. Until you walk that journey, even when you feel and you know and your activities and your circumstances are telling you you are not there yet, you will not know, you will not learn how to maneuver, how to just look for ideas on how you can make it work. Okay, so you need to just work. I remember when I was doing the vlogs previously now, before I even got to this particular time where I'm trying to be consistent, I was posting, and every time I was shooting, we had an issue with where we were staying. It was too loud. Then again, I wouldn't shoot in the during the day. I had to shoot at night, and at some point I was pregnant, and the pregnancy was just on it was another level of crazy. So I had all the excuses and all the reasons why I did not want to shoot, why I shouldn't shoot, why I shouldn't do what, because of course even the face, the acne was terrible. Yani it was bad, But again, I come to that point of realization on my own, when I am just having my own time of reflecting and just looking back, and I'm like, Marion, why are you not doing this again? Because of acne. Why are you not doing this again? Because of mics. Why are you not doing this again? Because of a camera. Can't you use your phone? How many people are using their phones and they are shooting and their content and they actually have subscribers? Why can't you do it on natural light, with natural light, if the issue is the lighting? Like, stop having petty excuses to why you're not doing things that you need to be doing. You will not learn how to communicate unless you start communicating. You know, you have learned about communication, but until you do it, then you won't become good at it. You won't develop the skill. You won't develop the people skill, you know, and just making sure that what you're communicating makes sense and people receive it and they learn from it and they grow from it. So you have to really just push yourself and go ahead and do it. And one thing I appreciate my support system is this. Even when I want to delete videos from the past that were really awful, I get encouraged. You know what? Leave those videos there. Why? Because they remind you of where you're coming from. They are not good quality. They are not making sense. Maybe when you are looking at the topic that you're discussing and the things you're saying, sometimes you do not even have the flow of the words that you're using. But leave that video there. It is a remembrance. It is a good memory for you to learn, for you to remember where you're coming from. Because until you have somewhere where you're starting from, you cannot really see how far you've grown in the next 5 years if you don't have something to refer to. And I thank God that they actually allowed me to leave those videos there, because at some point I wanted to delete everything and just begin afresh with dope videos, with super lighted ones. And you know, now that I'm learning how to communicate and just make sure that everything I'm saying makes sense, so that when I post videos I look mjanja, I look mchanukod. But you know what? Those videos represent a part of my growth, and I will leave them there so that you can also go and check them, especially if you have not checked them. Please check them out. You know, they will teach you a thing or two. I promise you, as much as I was talking a lot, I really had lessons, and I'm sure that they will change your life. So check them out. The other thing that we hinder ourselves with are really negativity, surrounding yourself with negative people. I have just given an example of my support system. My support system is like really tight. You know, I have people like my mom who always tells me, you know, your video inaenda, your video ikona views. Thank you, mom. Shout outs to you. I love you. I thank you for just standing with me and making sure that, you know what, I don't give up. Thank you for those standing with me, honestly, even when my desires, honestly, with what I studied are not in line, you know. So thank you so much. To my husband, who sometimes I have to keep awake for hours, even during the wee hours Yani, we stay up late, sometimes until 4 a.m. when we are creating content, because sometimes we have to do like 10 or 5 videos in a day, because we want to just maximize the time we have and all the resources that we get, because of course, as I've said, the planning takes a lot of time. So we just make sure that we do our due diligence and give you the best. So thank you also for just standing with me. I know I don't say thank you very much, but thank you. Thank you for making sure that, you know what, I am sorted, that my lights are okay, that the camera is working, that, you know what, we have everything we need for shooting. Because all I do is just do my makeup and appear, and I just communicate in advance. I'm like, you know what, we are shooting. And sometimes I do impromptu, like today I just came, I was like, you know what, I'm shooting today because I need to have content for, you know, yeah, for Monday and all that. And sometimes I just get them off guard. I get him off guard, and he just drops everything and just supports me, and that's encouraging. So I feel really proud of the people around me. So also make sure that you are also getting people who love you, who support you, who believe in you. Even sometimes when you're doing all manner of wrong things, you know, when you're doing those videos and you're doing them pathetically, but there's someone, one or two people that are supporting you, and they're telling you and they're urging you on, go ahead, do this. It is possible, you can achieve this, you can do this, you know, because you need such people sometimes, honestly. I remember one time, and this is not my story by the way, but I'm just giving it out here. A friend of mine, when we were younger, around early 20s, yeah, we had a worship team that was formed, and he came and he sang off key, and we even laughed. Personally, I laughed. And for those that have joined prayers, you can hear how badly I'm singing, but imagine he was bad than the way Mia was singing, because now Mia was among the good people, the the best singers. So right now, oh my goodness, you should hear that man. He's amazing. I hear his vocals and I'm amazed, because then he would just choke. You know, he had the potential, but he would choke. But I remember that time, if we were very bad people, we would be like, you know what, you can't do this, man. Stop singing. Never do it again. Leave it. You know what, you can't sing. But we had a very encouraging leader and very supportive, and she stood with us irrespective of what we were going through, you know. And after that, he transitioned. Now the guy who I'm giving the story about, and he has really grown. I think it's 8-10 years down the line, but if you hear how beautiful he sings, oh my goodness, I think people who are receiving now what he's giving are like, where, I want to sing like this person, but they do not know his journey for the last 10 or so years of just singing with here, and the voice becomes hoarse, and sometimes the voice disappears, until he learned controlling his voice and just picking his voice from the tummy, and all these things that people learn from the voice trainers. And now this guy is good. I promise you he is. I don't want to tell you who he is. I don't want to tell you where you can listen to him, because you know, it is borrowed. But that's just to show you what you can achieve in the next 10 years or more years. So do not give up on your dream. It might look insane, it might look small, but it is workable, and one day you will walk, you know, even in those things that you have written down, and you'll be like, wow, I actually did this, you know, I actually made it. I made it. And when I was talking about the entertainment industry, shout outs to my ex-boss Kangede. You really stood by me, even when I was really doing nothing in the office. All I was doing is just fetching him water, but he had me on pay. And I remember, Yani, I would just sit down and play games. But the one thing God really helped me to do in that season, as much I was really not giving and inputting on the growth of the production, I learned a lot of things. I learned how to edit during that time. I learned how to produce. I learned how to plan and do all these things that ADs do. I learned to write a shooting schedule. Yani, I learned a lot. I learned continuity, And sometimes, you know, when you are in that place of learning, you look stupid, especially to people who have been doing it, to people who think that sasa wewe unadu si utoke hapa uishie, you're just lagging the ass behind, you're not doing what needs to be done, and you're not doing it okay. I learned how to coordinate costumes, and just how to do continuity of costumes, and both script and costume and all these things. And I remember sometimes I would just sit down and sleep because I did not know at night I was busy doing other things and really pursuing growing the skills that I needed to grow and perfect them. So by the time I was just coming out of the production scene and the production industry, I had learned a lot, and some of those things are the things that I use even right now to create my own content and just edit and just do 1, 2, 3 things. And as much as though I need to grow and become better, I thank God because I landed in that platform and I had someone who stood by me. So that is a big thank you to you, Kang'ethe. Shout out. I know that you might not see this soon because you don't follow my vlogs, but please, when you do, just know I appreciate and I value the experience that I learned in your company. Yeah, and I'm grateful. Thank you for the opportunity, by the way. Thank you so much for the opportunity. If you are also in that place of complaining and murmuring and just being so defensive and you are not willing to learn, those are some of the things that really hinder us. Right now, looking back, I remember the many times I was called out because maybe I was not doing the things that I needed to do well. Maybe I was lagging behind. Maybe the electricity switched off during the shoot, and it was my responsibility to make sure that there was electricity, especially because we had not paid for the tokens. You know, it's different when stima imepotea, when the electricity goes off, but it's another thing when they go off because you have not paid for the tokens. So we had a lot of challenges when we were there shooting and there's no water, and it's because, you know what, I didn't plan ahead, and such things really affected my working at that particular time. But right now, I know if I could get into another space, I would do better because I've learned, and of course with maturity comes some growing up. Okay, that being said, I hope that you have learned. There are so many things that can hinder you, by the way. Some of us are hindered by the environments that we are in. I can speak on behalf of the environment because there was a time I wouldn't actually shoot because of the place where we were living. It was too loud, and again, I did not have the resources financially to just go and get a location and shoot, because people are getting Airbnbs, and you know, they're doing their content in these amazing places, and when you look at those content, you're like, whoa. And here I am using like a small space in my sitting area, and it feels really cliche because I just want different. I want, you know, but we work with what we have. Okay, so even if you are in that space, the environment is really not working, it's not giving, you need to start where you are at, even as we grow and we become better. So as I've said, there are so many things that can hinder us, even the wrong mindset. You know, sometimes we really think the wrong things, we think wrong about even ourselves. It can hinder us from achieving our goals and even from becoming the things that you have written in your book about what you want to achieve. So you need to change your mindset. Change the way you think about yourself, the way you think about your situation, the way you think about your environment, because unless you accept and embrace everything that you have, then you cannot give us what it is that you need to give us. We cannot drink from your cup because your cup will be more empty than it is full. Okay, so make sure that you change your mindset. The other thing is also equip and train yourself. Some of us are just really not putting in effort. We are not working hard. So you need to put your A game. You need to bring your A game on, because we need you to be very, 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 very hardworking, because we also need to drink from your cup. It feels nice every time when I'm looking at people that I have followed on social media, seeing them being so hands-on on what they're doing, on what they're giving us. Sometimes even if they're lying to us and they're giving us gossip and they're giving us the wrong tea, we are so excited because, you know what, this person is regular. We can count on them on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. We know that, you know what, I can get content from this person. So it feels nice when you are consistent, when you are activated, and you continue pressing on. And I know that we will achieve a lot. So if you have gotten to this part of the video and you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. The content is amazing. I promise you, you will really learn a lot from this channel, because we all are learning. Personally, I am learning. Personally, I am growing, and I will still say that you guys are my accountability partners, and oh my, is it so much pressure? I promise you, and I tell you, goodness, but I am grateful, because until I do this, I cannot grow. I will stay stagnated on where I have been, and it is not helping me in any way. So I'm stepping up, and I want to level up, because I want to achieve more than what I have achieved so far. So again, thank you so much for staying tuned. If you have not written, by the way, your goals or your short-term goals or what you want to achieve in the next 21 Mondays of motivation, kindly write down, even if it is 2 or 3 things that you can actually be very regular with, so that you can do it continuously. I said before, I think I've also mentioned it somewhere in this video. If I haven't, I mentioned it in the other video, where I said that in psychology, we believe that when you do something for 21 days consistently and continuously, it becomes a habit. You now develop the habit of now doing it. So when you start and do it for 21 days, you find that the 22nd day, it is so easy for you to flow. So during the first days, it is a bit challenging, a bit difficult, but when you get to the middle, then umeanza, you start, umeshika pace. But then at the end, ukifika huko mwisho, you find that, what, even this thing is actually not as hard. We can actually do this, and we can actually achieve this. And even if you feel squeezed and whatever, just do it. It won't kill you. It won't kill you. All it will do is make you stronger, make you wiser. And when you do it and you fail, then you learn how not to do something. So of course, try, do, grow, develop. Let's do this together. Write down those goals, and see you on the next vlog, because I know we are now taking it a notch higher, and we're going to have an awesome time together. Okay? Bye-bye. See you on the next one. My name is Ndung'u, for those that do not know. Mwah.